On the day that the fire got into the Hazelwood mine, it was about survival. It was about the people of Latrobe Valley.
Before the fire, Mum was a very stereotypical housewife. And then after that, everything's changed.
From that fire to where we are now, we're leaving a better future for our kids. And it's because people stood up. My parents came out to Australia in 1958.
Yeah.
The church at the time supported people to come into this area.
Because, you know, photos were really expensive as well.
But there was opportunity. There were coal mines and there was power stations. Growing up in the church, one of the things that was always implanted into us was listening to authority and not questioning authority.
I started at Hazelwood in '85.
Working in the power stations is considered a good job around here because you get paid well.
Have you got the coordinates?
Miner's Way.
Miner's Way.
We couldn't really talk about climate change. For someone that works in the power industry and feeling that they're going to be pulled away from their job, it just seemed like a taboo word.
On the day of the Hazelwood mine fire, it was a really hot day. It was a really windy day. We'd already had bushfires around. This was the third hottest year on record in the last 5 years. I went and woke Brett up and I'm like, the fire's in the mine. I was terrified for the workers.
There was a massive amount of fire.
God, look at that. But that was it, isn't it?
I did not expect the fire to last anywhere near as long as it did.
It's hard to stand here and imagine that what divides this mine to the town is a double-lane freeway. You know, 4 lanes, that's it.
The government sources were saying, we don't know what's in the smoke, but it won't hurt you.
Everybody was starting to say how they were feeling. They were feeling sick, they were feeling lethargic, they had headaches.
So they bussed all the kids from school in more.
I got to the stage that I was angry that nothing was being done. Our homes are full of smoke.
I rang my mum to say that I think we should have a protest. She really quickly agreed with me, which I was surprised about because Mum's never been into protesting or anything before.
About 1,200 people turned up to this protest. Hi Marianne, how are you? Make sure that something happened because what we were experiencing was not okay. I remember laying this T-shirt on the kitchen table the morning of the protest, and the first thing I wrote was, help.
The morning of the protest, Mum was at her computer and she said, did you know that if they don't know the health impacts of a situation, the Health Act says they've still got to act, so not knowing what's in the coal smoke is not an excuse.
Disaster in the valley.
Mum had kind of refused to be a speaker. But once all of the kind of official speakers had finished speaking, she was like, no one has kind of said it clear enough. No one has said this thing about the health impact.
And I just said, but wait, you know, the Public Health and Wellbeing Act, precautionary principle. This is a disaster. This is a disaster in the valley. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to breathe clean air.
She was amazing, saying loudly, clearly, something needs to be done, and the people who should be doing it must do it because it's in the Act, it's a legal requirement.
That day changed my life. it changed the way that I thought. I trusted government. I trusted leaders. But I also knew that I couldn't be silent any longer.
The rose garden we all meet at.
Very first time we met Wendy, we decided to form a community group.
Voices of the Valley was not an organisation, it was born out of the Hazelwood mine fire. As the weeks drew on, someone mentioned one day, oh yeah, I'm going to 3 funerals. And we started putting that link together. Has the mine fire caused deaths? We were asking questions to the government and the health department.
The first inquiry found no wrongdoing.
Which was just a kick in the guts.
But we kind of kept campaigning and they had a second inquiry. And the second inquiry found that the health department had misled the public, which meant that they had been negligent.
We also stood up and pushed to take the Hazelwood power station to court. That while we focused Hazelwood,
The work Voices of the Valley did gave the community a voice, and it's left a lasting impact on Latrobe Valley.
we know the impact that power stations are doing on our environment, and we know the impact it's doing on our health. The dust and the emissions in the air are impacting our health every day.
Power stations have had their time. You know, when Hazelwood announced their closure, many people knew that it was going to close.
And pull that quite tight, otherwise it won't be in focus. And this way, and you should see the turbines.
Oh my goodness. Oh. After the fire, one of the real big things we noticed was people feeling that they had nothing. They didn't have hope. So Voices of the Valley then set out to look at what could a transition look like? How could we create hope and jobs in Latrobe Valley?
It's happening. To actually see what the wind farm might look like. It's the hope for our community. We're taking action on climate change. It's mind-blowing.
The power industry isn't going away anytime soon, it's just changing.
We're saying, let's work together to bring these companies into the region to actually give us jobs and give us a future for not only us, but our future generations. So if we don't accept what the future is, we may look around one day and go, what happened and why were we left behind? We're starting to see change, not only in industry, but we're starting to see beautiful pieces of art right across Latrobe Valley. And it's bringing people together, it's connecting. Now people seem to be working so much better together and supporting each other. It's beautiful to see. Now, a lot of our work is about how this community moves forward, actually sharing our story across Australia, across the world.
Since the fire, I think a lot has changed. I think that Mum has found her kind of political voice and gone out and made an impact on the world.
I'm very proud of what she's achieved. She's on first name basis really with lots of politicians, lots of professors, lots of highly educated people. Yeah, she's really astounded me.
We know that the earth is getting warmer. We know that our oceans are getting warmer, and we've got to do something for the next generation. Communities can stand up, communities can make change, and we must actually be involved.